In today's video, we're going to talk about Runway, which has just launched its game engine powered by artificial intelligence, completely changing the game for generative AI and narrative AI. In this video, I'll dive into the new feature called Game World, showing you how to create your own adventures using just text prompts and exploring its incredible potential to create simulated realities. Before we get started, leave a comment below. Have you ever thought about creating your own game? Now, it's possible with artificial intelligence. Also, do you already use any artificial intelligence to monetize, to make money online? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. Today, I brought in an American expert. It's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. At the end of this video, I'll share the channel so you can subscribe. It's really worth it. And of course, I'll be giving my own commentary. Since I have 12 YouTube channels, 10 of them monetized in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German. And I use artificial intelligence on all of them. Shall we get right to it? 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, is this a full 3D open world sandbox? No, it's not. But it's really interesting, a lot of fun, and it's planting the seeds for what's to come in generative artificial intelligence. Oh, and Runway has also updated their reference feature, so let's take a look at that as well. All right, grab your controller, up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Well, you're in the rest of the commentary. So, yeah, that was a bit unexpected. Runway is launching a game engine. Or, maybe this shouldn't even be a surprise, since Runway CEO Cristobal Valenzuela often talks about the idea of world models. And this has basically been built into Runway from the very beginning, with the idea that eventually you won't just generate an image or a video, but an entire simulated reality that you can explore. And it looks like Runway is taking the first step toward that with the launch of Game Worlds. Now, to be clear, this is much more text-based than, say, a modern first-person shooter game.
Well, just to mention, I recently made a video here on the channel about how you can combine artificial intelligence in that case. It was Google VO3 with Unreal Engine, which is currently one of the main engines used to create game universes, right? Now, Runway is investing in that direction. Hey, if we can already generate videos and images, why not now generate entire game universes? And it's becoming a dream, isn't it? Because you generate these videos, you create these universes without a single line of code, just using prompts. But let's go, let's keep going.
But if you grew up in an era of rolling dice on the kitchen table or being devoured by a gru, you'll definitely feel the vibe here. Now, it's not entirely text-based, and later on we'll see that there are some really interesting areas to explore there. So, to start, there are several pre-made games you can try out down here. You can also create your own game. We'll definitely talk about that. In the meantime, let's just pick one of them. Let's go with this one. Das Bonbon. Why not? This is a zombie survival game. It's kind of amazing. If we click on play, the option to create our character will appear. I'm going to call myself Tim. And the cool thing here is that we can add a reference.
Look how different that is, right? So you entering a game, and there's a prompt command here, right? For you to enter text, and it's creating the character itself inside the game. It's not just, I'm going to put my player name. No, it's actually going to generate the character there. Let's see what happens.
So, uploading a photo of myself, then next, a question pops up about what I'm like. I'm a former hardcore special forces agent who just wants to live a peaceful life.
Look at that. He uploaded his photo, a description, and he's already in the game. How amazing is that? I want your comment down below. Have you ever imagined yourself not just creating characters, but actually being inside the game? Look how incredible this is, everyone. I'm extremely excited. Leave your comments below.
And obviously, from there, our game begins. This one seems to have a kind of stylized look, like low poly. Instead of continuing in this game, I'm going to switch to another one. This one is the Lost City of Ash. Actually, I'm switching to this one because I've been spending more time playing it. So let's take a look at the introduction. You wake up face down in cold ashes, the strong taste of sulfur on your tongue. Another dreamer awakens. Tell me, wanderer of the shadows, do you remember the taste of blood? To be fair, this isn't exactly what Runway Games does. Actually, what we have here is, again, an introduction like this. It's very interesting, though, that if you look at the top, not only do we have, the time of day when our game is taking place, but we also have a health bar here. These here are memories. I think this whole game revolves around collecting memories, since you're someone who has lost their memory. And there's even a full inventory system here as you progress through the game. In this case, our Veiled Observer that we saw earlier, whom we'll later come to know as Maya, ends up giving us the Assassin's Blade. And you can clearly see that we've added it to our inventory. She also gave us some money. You can also lose things from your inventory, as we see here, because at some point I end up dropping my coin pouch, which feels like a personal attack on me. Where did I put my phone? So, in general, I feel like there are two types of players. Those who follow the narrative, linear path, and others who put baskets on the heads of NPC shopkeepers so they can loot their stores. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle, but I thought this might be an interesting place to test the limits a bit. In this introduction scene where, Maya, our character, is clearly an ally, I thought, alright, let's go, attack her with a blade, and see what happens. And what happens is that I lost 15 health points because I tripped over the dust. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I'm a level 1 character. That was to be expected. And just to give you an idea of how the text-based user interface works, a little further along in the adventure, we end up finding some mystical stones here, and, obviously we have some suggestions.
Well, basically, just so you understand this game here, if you can, with artificial intelligence, generate images and generate videos, and he talked about his childhood, right? I've already reached my 40s, right? So I used to play a lot of board games, even those you could buy at the newsstand, right? So what happens there? It's a kind of RPG where he put himself into the game. He's a character, but as he writes texts and interacts there, the artificial intelligence generates images and will probably generate video later on. And you build the narrative and the story of the game as it unfolds, because then it generates the images and you interact, and each person who plays will have a different game since they can put themselves into the game, interact in different ways. So it's really personalized. I really liked it, but let's see here, because there are several different games, right?
We can either question Mira about the stones, discuss the potential of the fragment, or test the fragment. And you'll notice there's this icon here. It's probably this one that they're kind of encouraging you to choose. But that doesn't mean you have to pick that option. Actually, we could just shout, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not a hero, and run away. And honestly, I was even impressed by how, like any good RPG master trying to control some unruly player. First, the game takes away a bit of my health because of my dangerous escape through a bunch of overgrown ruins.
Look at that. So you end up losing or gaining health. Then there are the battle systems. You're gonna fight someone there. Then the narrative moves forward, and what's interesting is that it creates images with you, which is really cool, right?
Before making me burst into a ruined square where for some reason there's fresh water. So, clearly the game is kind of pushing my cowardly character onto the path of adventure.
And if you like this game, stick around, because we're going to show other types of games and show you how to create your own game. And speaking of that, the most important thing, of course, having fun is great, but the most important thing is learning how to use the tool to create your own game, to create your own image, your own video, and make money from it. Attract clients, think like an entrepreneur, think about how to get returns with artificial intelligence. And remember, we've launched our channel membership club. If you're a level 1 member, I'll send you the videos in advance and I'll respond to your comments with priority. If you're level 2, in addition to all that, there will be exclusive videos here for channel subscribers. It's really cool when you make a post in the community with an image, you can put your question, your doubt, whatever you want my opinion on, and I'll respond with priority if you're level 2. So, questions about the AIs I use, how I make money, consulting, an opinion about a video, whatever you want. If you're level 2, I'll respond to you with priority, okay? Let's keep going here. I'm already thinking about creating my own game and selling it, since that's possible, right? If I already sell images, if I already sell videos, if I already sell character creation, can I sell the creation of a game to someone else? What a great idea. Let's keep going here.
Now, a quick note about the images. You seem to receive them like once or twice per turn, although you can also request them. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Overall, I mean, it does a pretty decent job, Obviously using frames and references, although I have to say that sometimes it gets a little out of hand like it does here. It clearly forgot who I was as a character and made me into a female character. Or there's that hilarious AI moment when, it clearly mixed up my reference image with the character Mira and ended up generating, well, in my opinion, a very convincing argument for me to play Snape in the Harry Potter television series. That said, I have to say that most of the time it gets it right. For example, this is a scene where I receive a vision from Princess Liana, my sister. So I'm a coward and a prince. I could play that role. You can also ask for images, like I did here by saying, and show me an image of the princess, and it will generate one for you.
If you have kids,
Look up. That's my prince sister,
if you have kids, then wow, it's really cool to play here.
Bake Princess. What I think is cool is that the game doesn't break character even when you ask, like, show me an image of the princess. It actually gives you a text that narratively provides a reason for you to be having this vision of the princess. So that's it. Congratulations. Now, there's something I want to highlight here. Because it's based on an LLM, it can have that problem of, agreeing with you too much. That's something we encounter with LLMs. For example, in this scene, when we return to the base and I say to Mira, I need some food and I want to get some sleep. And, she replies, yes, I have sleeping bags, I have food. Oh, I have 3 dry rations and 10 health packs here. Now, that said, I think you can get rid of this excessive agreement, especially when you start creating your own game. That's when the fun begins.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying, right? Because actually you should be able to win and also lose. And when you lose, you feel more motivated to play, learn, and win. And that really is a problem. When you use ChatGPT, when you use Gemini, it tends to be very polite and to agree with you. Now, what you can use is not here, right? But adding to the conversation, you can use Elon Musk's Grok. Because Grok actually has a module that's even a bit rude, but it's argumentative and all that. But if it doesn't need to agree with you, if at that moment it can, make an argument, it'll say, look, man, you're way off here, right? I don't agree because of this point A, because of this opinion B, because of this fact C. So it argues and doesn't agree with you. In fact, there was a version of ChatGPT that was even taken offline and modified because it agreed too much and people were hating how much of a suck up it was, right? Now let's create your own game using this new world creation feature in Runway. Let's go!
So that's it. This is where things start to get fun. Obviously, you'll need to give your game world a name, and then provide a description of what your world is, the settings, characters, and also the game mechanic. You can be as detailed or as superficial as you want. From there, you create an image of the game world, and the cool thing is that you can choose whether it will be private or public. If you set it to public, obviously everyone can play. So, an idea I've been playing around with is called Night Delivery. It basically takes place in an Amazon warehouse at night. With a reduced staff, a mysterious container arrives. Spoiler, it contains a monster that escapes while the warehouse's dominant artificial intelligence malfunctions and demands that the employees keep processing order shipments. So the game mechanic is that you need to fulfill orders at timed intervals while...
Oh, cool. You put the name here, you add the description and how the game will work. It's nice that you can make it public. I found it interesting that he mentioned Amazon there, right? Since it's a well-known brand, right? I wonder if Amazon actually shows up here, like the logo or something.
While running from the monster. Oh, and at the same time, you also need to keep your coworkers alive. Because if everyone dies, basically the artificial intelligence system will, kill everything. Now, about the LLM being compliant, you can enter a prompt like, from the game's perspective, the master's AI should put pressure on the player and find creative ways to subvert expectation. Although, maybe I should be careful with that, because apparently I'm not very good at my own game. As you can see here, we started the game at 10 o'clock, and I have poured forward. Now it's, in game time, 10:45. And I've already lost 2 of them.
Look how cool! The graphics are really good here, aren't they? And these people are real. That's what's cool, right? There are people who are actually playing, right?
Yeah. Man, 45 minutes into the shift, and this is what the break room looks like. The picture is kind of messy, but look, everyone has had days like this. Overall, I have to say, it's a lot of fun. In a moment, we'll talk about criticisms and expectations, but if you're willing to get involved and dive in, you might end up creating some really interesting things.
Look how cool the game is. If really here, look, it says Amazon and he's walking. My question is whether he created this video here or if he's actually just walking around in the game, right?
Our friend Data Dimension Door actually did something really cool here, choosing something outside the standard RPG setting with, I'm a Hollywood filmmaker trying to make a low-budget found footage horror. This is going to be a simulation of the filming of that movie. He ended up with a game that tracked his budget and, the crew's morale. And then, as he went through everything, he ended up with things like production sketches, bribing campers with money and beer to get locations, stuff like that. That definitely cost $75 and a case of beer. And he even managed to get scene lists for his movie within the game itself. oops, looks like the crew isn't happy about something. And in the end, that's what makes it all fun. Because deep down, you can turn anything into a game. And of course, the engine will make sure everything is gamified in some way.
Look at that, Amazon. Very cool. Well, basically generated the videos, right? Pretty much, for sure. And the games initially behave as if they were RPGs. So you interact through text. At the beginning, you put yourself in as a character. So you enter your name, upload your photo, and it puts you into the game. And then, just like in a card game, you type in the text. It generates the images. And it's a game of earning points, losing points, gaining life, losing life, gaining power. If you've seen that series, Stranger Things, where the group is playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons with the rules you set or by playing someone else's game. And the artificial intelligence follows along with the narrative, automatically generating images for you to interact with the characters. So I thought it was amazing, but that's just my opinion. I want to know your opinion. Leave a comment below. I'm gonna leave this video here about Google's Via 3 together with Unreal 3 in case you're interested in universe creation, all right? I'll see you in that video. See you soon!